You do what with who? The face of the question squinted at me, blue eyes brimming with a victim's rage, a victim's hurt, a victim's stolen innocence. Breathing into the boundaryless pain standing before me, knowing the flashpoint has sparked. I do Shakespeare with the incarcerated. What? Words come stumbling out of a broken heart. He killed my mother, my brother, my wife. He raped me, my girlfriend, my child. Why? Thoughts tumbling over and over each other. He's an animal, scum, a bastard. He deserves to rot in prison for the rest of his miserable life and then to burn in an eternity of endless fire. I stand humbled before the abyss of unrequited justice. In the forest of pain, the timbers of hurt are felled by the axe of seeking justice. I open my soul. I absorb the hurt into my heart. I speak from my truest self with a clarity stripped naked of defensiveness. I'm sorry for your pain. I was born and raised in the upper Midwest, on the vast savannas of prairie grass that stretch for hundreds of miles with little interruption from urban worlds. This is rural America, the middle of North Dakota, where my backyard was thousands of acres of farmland, where in the depths of the winter solstice, the aurora borealis lit up the northern sky, where in the stillness of a soft spring night, I oft gazed upward into the heavens and into the glittering expanse of the Milky Way, and was awed by the majesty of the universe, and felt like an insignificant speck of dust, a single grain of sand in our vastness of our Mother Earth's oceans, seas, lakes, and rivers. There in my insignificance, I wondered, who am I? A few years later, as a teenager, when I fell in love for the first time and lost that love, and in that loss I grieved, I wondered, what do I love? As time marched forward, it carried me into young adulthood and a chosen career path in the arts, theater to be specific. The passage of time brought the loss of beloved family members and close friends who passed away, some too soon. I wondered, how will I live my life knowing I will die? My mid-30s brought me the responsibility of running the all-but-defunct, oldest, free, professional, independently operated Shakespeare Festival in North America. As the only full-time staff member, the board and I dug the theater out of debt and put it on the road to fiscal responsibility. During this process, I began to create programs, each serving a unique need in our community. One of those programs was Shakespeare Behind Bars. It was working with incarcerated men and women in the depths of despair that I came to understand the phrase, living life's purpose. It wasn't that I didn't think I was living life's purpose prior to this epiphany. I was working in the not-for-profit theater world, bringing the works of William Shakespeare to life for the populace. We were giving our professional summer productions away for free and creating education programs that brought visceral Shakespeare performances and workshops into the schools. I was living my life's purpose. But through my work with Shakespeare in prisons, I was living more deeply into my life's purpose. My 17-year sojourn behind the concertina razor wire onto the islands of incarceration has allowed me to live more deeply into my life's questions. Who am I? What do I love? How will I live my life knowing I will die? Living deeply into these three questions brought forth my final question. What is my gift to humankind? Living into that question brought me an epiphany that henceforth determined the compass direction in the navigation of my life's course. To live an authentic, purposeful, meaning-filled life in service to others. Through the power of art, theater, and the works of William Shakespeare, my authentic, purposeful, meaning-filled life in service to others has become the personal, transformative work of reflection, responsibility, redemption, and forgiveness, manifested in Restorative Circles of Reconciliation. Sitting in the safety of our circle of trust, we individually seek to live into life's four questions. Who am I? What do I love? How will I live my life knowing I will die? What is my gift to humankind? The original Restorative Circles of Reconciliation were birthed in Kentucky. First, at the Luther Luckett Correctional Complex, then at the Kentucky Correctional Institution for Women, and more recently in collaboration with my Pioneer Playhouse colleagues at the North Point Training Center. The most recent Restorative Circle of Reconciliation was created in my new home state of Michigan, at the Ernest C. Brooks Correctional Facility in Muskegon Heights. Thus play I in one prison, many people, and none contented. From among the inhabitants of the village of incarceration gather the inmates, contemplative sojourners. I have been studying how to compare this prison where I live unto the world, and for because the world is populous, and here is not a creature but myself, I cannot do it. Their presence now requested for the vision quest, know thyself, yet I'll hammer it out. Traveling across the prison yard, the expansive savanna, the prairie seas separating those who speak the rap of back in the day, who time is doing. I wasted time, and now doth time waste me, from those who are awakening to doing the time. For now hath time made me his numbering clock. We seek to live in this present moment and the new possibility of tomorrow. Arriving at the threshold of the world of reflection that puzzles the will, a sacred space of questions. What is this quintessence of dust? Masks of deception peeled and checked at the portal of resignation. False faces forged with the pain of inhumanity, received and passed on and received and passed on. A never-ending cycle of circular abuse. I have supped full with horrors. Passing through the gateway of for real, round the ring of resting chairs, the circle members sit, the self-chosen, we few, we happy few, we band of brothers who will get naked to bear witness within the circle of trust. But whate'er I am, nor I, nor any man that but man is, with nothing shall be pleased till he be eased with being nothing, sitting with their pain and the pain of others, the journey of again beginning and beginning again into wholly becoming beings, embarking on ships with sails of mirrors, to hold, as it were, the mirror up to nature. The words of the prophet echo the beginning, the heartbeat of being. We choose to trust, to believe what you speak is the truth. Words resonate the silence at the center of the circle. Ears hear, listen, eyes look, see, lungs inhale, exhale. We choose to trust, to believe what you speak is the truth. Held captive in a world of incarceration behind double strands of razor ribbon, truth is a commodity traded with suspicion. We choose to trust, to believe what you speak is the truth. Among the circle members, those who had their trust violated, who in turn violated the trust of others, we choose to trust, to believe what you speak is the truth. Within each circle member, inner vibrations increase as thoughts rub against thoughts, a four-part harmony of mind, heart, soul, mystery. We choose to trust, to believe what you speak is the truth. The gospel choir of redemption sings, how vast is the abyss of trust that contains the chasm of truth. As we live into our four questions day by day by day, additional questions reveal themselves. What is justice? It is a powerful experience to explore justice with men who have perpetrated injustice on their fellow human beings and who in themselves are the recipients of our American criminal justice system. Our most recent justice discussions have focused on why seeking justice from those who have wronged us is most often filled with revenge, retribution, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, payback. This discussion has led us to Shakespeare's play, The Merchant of Venice. There, we have explored justice through the relationship of Antonio, the wealthy Christian Venetian merchant, and Shylock, the Jewish moneylender. Antonio's best friend, Bassanio, comes to him to borrow money, to be used to impress Portia, a recently orphaned, wealthy, beautiful young woman whom Bassanio is wooing. But Antonio's personal fortune has been tied up in his ships, which have sailed to foreign ports, bearing merchandise for trade. Thus, to help his best friend, Bassanio, Antonio must borrow money. Antonio is forced to do something he's never done before, borrow money. And the only people in Venetian society who could lend money with interest were the Jews. Christians believed it was a sin to lend money with interest. Therefore, to grow the economy of Venice, money lending with charging interest was the exclusive province of the Jews, who were oppressed in every other endeavor by their Christian oppressors. Antonio goes to Shylock to request a loan. Shylock replies, Signor Antonio, many a time and oft in the Rialto you have rated me about my monies and my usances. Still, I have borne it with a patient shrug. for sufferance is the badge of all our tribe. You call me misbeliever, cutthroat dog, and you spit upon my Jewish gabardine, all for the use of that which is mine. Well then, it now appears you need my help. Go to then, you come to me and you say, Shylock, we would have monies. You say so. You that did void your room upon my beard and foot me as you spurn a stranger cur over your threshold. Monies is your suit. What should I say to you? Should I not say, hath a dog money? Is it possible a cur can lend 3,000 ducats? Or shall I bend low, and in a bondsman's key with bated breath and whispering humbleness say this, fair sir, you spit on me on Wednesday last. You spurned me such a day. Another time you called me dog. And for these courtesies, I'll lend you thus much monies. Shylock, anger at being oppressed is evident. Perhaps what he hopes for, now that Antonio needs his financial assistance, is an apology. Antonio replies, I am as like to call thee so again, to spit on thee again, to spurn thee too. If thou wilt lend this money, lend it not as to thy friends, for when did friendship take a breed for barren metal of his friend, but lend it rather to thine enemy, who, if he break, thou mayest with better face exact the penalty. No apology. Antonio the oppressor shows no remorse for his mistreatment of Shylock, the oppressed. However, Shylock agrees to lend Antonio 3,000 ducats. But instead of charging the usual interest, Shylock, with great generosity, dismisses it and humorously requests a pound of Antonio's flesh as repayment if Antonio's ships do not come in and he's forced to default on the loan. Antonio agrees. The legal documents are prepared, the agreement is signed. Later, Shylock is asked why he wants a pound of Antonio's flesh rather than 3,000 ducats principal plus interest as repayment for the promissory note. Shylock replies, to bait fish withal. If it will feed nothing else, it will feed my revenge. He hath disgraced me and hindered me 500,000, laughed at my losses, mocked at my gains, scorned my nation, thwarted my bargains, cooled my friends, heated mine enemies. And what's the reason? I am a Jew. Hath not a Jew eyes? Hath not a Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions, fed with the same food, hurt with the same weapons, subject to the same diseases, healed by the same means, warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer as a Christian is? If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? If we are like you in the rest, we will resemble you in that. If a Jew wrong a Christian, what is his humility? Revenge. If a Christian wrong a Jew, what should his sufferance be by Christian example? Why, revenge. The villainy you teach me, I will execute, and it will go hard, but I will better the instruction. Shylock the oppressed becomes Shylock the oppressor. His justice is filled with revenge. Later, when Antonio's ships do not come in, Shylock takes him to court to receive the forfeiture of a pound of Antonio's flesh. In the courtroom, Shylock is offered 6 times the 3,000 ducats as repayment on the loan. But Shylock is unrelenting. He is seeking justice through revenge. Young Portia, disguised as an attorney, requests mercy of Shylock. The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the fear and dread of king. But mercy is above this sceptered sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself. and earthly power doth then show like God's, when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice, none of us shall see salvation. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. The same prayer we use to seek mercy from our God should teach us to extend mercy to our fellow human beings. But Shylock has received no mercy from the Christians. His Christian example has been mistreatment, oppression. Yet in this courtroom, Portia requests of Shylock to be merciful rather than vengeful, to season his justice with mercy rather than with revenge. Can he do it? We who sit and witness to this drama and observe the events of the story play out, hope Shylock will take the high road. We hope he will be the bigger human being. We hope Shylock will exact his revenge by extending mercy to his oppressors, to reveal to his oppressors that he's no longer the victim of their oppression, but rather the victor. However, Shylock does not relent. He continues on his path of seeking justice through revenge. He is defeated, stripped of half his wealth, which is given to Antonia, and forced to convert to Christianity. Then he's banished from the courtroom. In the course of justice, none of us shall see salvation. For each of us sitting in our Shakespeare Behind's Restorative Circle of Reconciliation, Portia's words reverberate. Each of us have the opportunity to consider this question: what is justice? Each of us can choose either justice seasoned with mercy or revenge. Is there a pound of flesh you are seeking? Mercy provides one answer to all four questions. Who am I? What do I love? How will I live my life knowing I will die? What is my gift to humankind? Now my charms are all o'erthrown, and what strength I have's mine own, which is most faint. Now 'tis true I must be here confined by you, or sent to Naples. Let me not, since I have my dukedom got, and pardon the deceiver, dwell in this bare island by your spell, but release me from my bands with the help of your good hands. Gentle breath of yours my sails must fill, or else my project fails, which was to please. Now I want spirits to enforce, art to enchant, and my ending is despair, unless I be relieved by prayer, which pierces so that it assaults mercy itself and frees all faults. As you from crimes would pardon be, let your indulgence set me free. Thank you.